thing about being a brilliant woman is that it can literally ruin your life. I have the world's best clients. They're smart, creative, ambitious, high achieving, spiritual, deeply grounded. They are curious about life and they're always striving to be and do better. One of the things that almost all of my Heart's Delight clients have in common is that they are incredibly brilliant women. And the thing about being a brilliant woman is that it can literally ruin your life. Hi, my name is Elle, also known as the Empress of Ease, creator of the House of Ease. I have the world's best coaching and consulting clients. For the most part, I only work with women, and all of my clients are brilliant, smart, creative, ambitious, high achieving. My clients usually been on this trajectory for most of their lives. Some of them started in gifted classes when they were in elementary school, middle school, high school. They were well-rounded scholars who were also athletes, who are also dancers, who are also volunteered, who also were active in their spiritual organizations. They're active in their family lives. They were just active, 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 and so smart. And at the end of the day, they come to me because after doing all of the right things and following the path that they were told was the path for them, high achieving, excellence path, they get to the pinnacle, they get the corner office in the career, and they get the letters behind their names, and they get all of the things that they have been striving for decades. And they look around and they're exhausted and they're burnt out and they're miserable, which is usually why they hire me to help them get back on track with ease and alignment without burning down their lives or sacrificing their income or their sense of well-being. But there's a lot of work that we have to do. The work of and all of my offerings really is to help you reconnect with your body, get back into your full wisdom, not just your intellectual wisdom and not just your accomplishments wisdom, but from your embodied knowledge and wisdom, because there is so much more life for you to live that isn't attached to your grueling, pushing, hustling, grinding, forcing. And because you are a smart woman, you know that to be true, but your body hasn't embodied that. You don't know it in your bones, you know it in your brain, especially if you come from a marginalized community. If you're a Black woman, if you're a first generation American woman, if you are an immigrant, if you are the first in your family to go to college, to go to graduate school, to get a six-figure job, if you're the one that everyone looks to stay strong. And on the other end, if you are in a lineage and a legacy of expectation where this is just what we do, we all go to college, we all go to grad school, we all have corporate careers, and you feel like, actually, I'm an artist. Actually, I'm a healer. The challenge is when you have been groomed essentially to be the high achiever, to be ambitious, to be the one who sets the tone and sets the example and shows everybody that it can be done without batting an eye, without asking for help, without complaining about how it's impacting you, without even acknowledging that it might be having some adverse effect on you. It keeps you from actually enjoying your journey and enjoying your life. My clients often find themselves collapsed in on themselves. And by that, I mean they don't have a sense of this is too far until it's too late, because your whole life has been set up on this track, right? Of accomplishment, achievement, accomplishment, achievement, accomplishment, achievement, until you realize that the external achievements are not actually fulfilling you inside. And so you're burnt out. You can't get out of bed. You hate going to your job. You're snapping at your boo and your colleagues and your employees. You're irritated. Your body is shutting down. And yet you know you're smart. And the challenge often that smart women have is that that is their rationale for why they aren't changing. Because they're like, I know I'm smart. I should be able to figure this out. I should be able to do this, because they've always been the exception. And being the exception means I'm not like those other people. I don't have to slow down. I don't have to take a pause. I don't have to take a sabbatical. This isn't going to break me until your body starts giving you the clues that it's already broken. And by that time, you will be forced into a sabbatical. You will be forced into the sick bed. You will be forced to say no and to have boundaries and to rest. But your brain hasn't caught up with your body. And that unearths the sense of guilt, this sense of, I shouldn't be the one experiencing this. All of this has been given to me, or I have already accomplished so much. I've already done so much. I can't be the one to collapse because I'm the one who holds it all together, which is incredibly dangerous. But smart women, for the most part, are terrified of putting on the brakes because so many decades of their lives have been on a full tilt at a 10 or 15, if we're being honest. And the idea of slowing down feels like the entire world, their entire life is going to fall apart. And quiet as it's kept, I'm only telling you this because it's the truth. Being a smart woman and being rewarded for being smart your entire life can also make you a know-it-all, can also make you think that you're the expert in every room and in every conversation and that you have all of the answers for everything, which actually, one, obviously isn't true, but also means you have a lot of blind spots because you're not having a beginner's mind. You're not walking into a conversation or a process about yourself or other people with a curiosity, with an openness. Instead, your brain is like, I got this. I know the answers. I'm already good in this, especially if you're neurodivergent and you think you already know what everyone is saying all of the time anyway. When you're smart, you've got to also be smart enough to know that you don't know everything. As Erica Badu said, the man that knows something knows that he knows nothing at all. If you are a smart woman, part of your Achilles heel is thinking that you know everything, which makes it very difficult even when you hire people, even when you're in coaching or therapeutic relationships or courses or workshops or master classes, unless you are intentionally and deliberately witnessing your brain try and get ahead of yourself, thinking that you know more than the person that you've hired to coach you or teach you, then you are missing out on a lot. We have our next workshop called The Money Machine coming up on December 21st, where I help you mine your life for the money that is sitting there hiding in plain sight that you can happily and easily charge at least $100 an hour for a pick my brain call that dives deep into your natural and innate expertise, experience, and genius that people will happily pay you over $100 an hour for. So if you want some more money in your bank account, check out the link below. I usually only offer this to one-on-one clients, but in honor of the new year and solstice, I am offering this as a small group workshop. So check out the link below. I would love to have you in it. Now, myself personally, I am also an internal know-it-all. I know this about myself. I know this about myself. It's just the way my brain works. So if I'm listening to a class or listening to a training or listening to someone talk, I can feel my brain go into know-it-all mode. I know it's happening. I'm just like internally rolling my eyes. I just witness my brain do it. It happens when I hire people. This happens when I listen to podcasts. This happens sometimes when I'm listening to books. I don't know everything, obviously, and I know that I don't know everything, but my brain goes into know-it-all mode anyway. So sometimes that means I listen back 2 and 3 times to make sure that those parts of my brain that is checked out in know-it-allness haven't actually missed what I've hired someone to help me learn, know, or understand. Because I know I don't know everything and I'm missing out on a lot of life if I navigate based on my own limited knowledge and information. Now, yes, I'm smart, brilliant, I say, and so do other people, but there's still a lot I don't know. There's still a lot. And so I can't let my know-it-all brain run the show. I'm not trying to have a lobotomy. I just have to work with my brain by saying, okay, I'm going to listen to this 2 or 3 times. I'm going to be curious. Curiosity is very natural for me. I'm naturally curious, but I'm going to stay open. I'm going to stay present. I'm going to stay curious so that I can learn and grow. And I think smart women, I've witnessed this in my clients too, that sometimes they come in, even after paying me thousands of dollars, they sometimes come into our coaching container or our mentorship container wanting to still be the expert. They're so used to being in charge. They're so used to leading in every other aspect of their life that it can be a hard flip to switch off, even though they want to switch off, even though they want to be in a place of learning and receptivity. They're so unfamiliar with it that it's a difficult process. But what if I told you there's actually a different way? What if I told you that you don't have to go at full tilt in order to still create the life that you desire? But that requires the permission, the acceptance, the acknowledgement that you might be on the track that you don't want to be on, and that you will need to come back into alignment with your own internal self and what you actually need in order to start creating a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. And that's a process because it took you decades to get there. It's going to take you some time to get back in alignment with yourself where you feel good and fulfilled, regardless of how many accolades or accomplishments or achievement or what position you have or what the letters are on the back of your name. This is a very essential process because smart women, high achieving women, ambitious women, particularly if you're the first or if you're the line holder, if you're doing what everyone else expects of you, there is this terrifying fear of what happens if I let go. Does my world collapse? Everyone's depending on me. Everyone is relying on me. And quiet as it's kept, because this is the part that we don't normally say out loud, is that your identity is locked into this sense of all of that external validation. Your identity is locked into other people's perception. People perceive you as the smart one, the reliable one, the one who has it all together, the one who made it out, the one who figured it out. And you must start to develop your own sense of identity separate from anything external to you. And that feels scary because, for the most part, for your whole life, you've been acknowledged and rewarded for your intelligence, your accomplishments, your ambition, your achievement, your contribution, your selflessness. The question that often comes up is, if my identity isn't attached to all those things, who am I? I don't know. When my amazing, brilliant, beautiful, wonderful chef's kiss clients come to me, we have to really slow down because the process of remembering who you are outside of all of that external striving, outside of all of that external accomplishment and achievement is a gentle but important process. This is why I have Success Reset, which is a 3-month one-on-one private mentorship program for ambitious, high achieving, exhausted women. And just like the name says, it is a 3-month process for resetting your relationship to success. Because you can still accomplish things, you can still strive and do things, but it can't come from this place of pushing, of proving, of forcing. And so in Success Reset, I help you remember who you are in a gentle, loving, but intentional and deliberate process, because there is so much more life for you to live that isn't attached to your grueling, pushing, hustling, grinding, forcing. And because you are a smart woman, you know that to be true, but your body hasn't embodied that. You don't know it in your bones, you know it in your brain. And the work of Success Reset and all of my offerings really is to help you get back into your full wisdom, not just your intellectual wisdom and not just your accomplishments wisdom, but from your embodied knowledge and wisdom, because your body has so much wisdom and so much knowledge. And this is why it's a 3-month thing. It's not a quick one and done call. It's not a quick magic wand. I'm not going to make you any outlandish promises. Instead, what we do together is I hold your hand and I take you through step by step, remembering yourself, reconnecting with yourself, re-owning and honoring yourself so that you can lead yourself and create the life that you actually want, the life that actually fulfills you, the life that actually lights you up. And I have a lot of clients who are like, I just want to turn off my brain. I don't support fully turning off your brain, but I do think it's about putting your wisdom in more places than just your brain. Let your brain be in the seat of your soul in the seat of your internal wisdom, in the seat of your joy, in the seat of your dreams. Put your brain to work for you, not you working for your brain. Anxiety, fear, scarcity, lack, limitation, pushing, shoving, proving harder, right? When you are rooted in and trust your own inner wisdom, your own inner guidance, that you are enough, that there is actually nothing to prove, there is nothing to strive for, you can then create the reality that you want without having to prove it, without having to strive for it, because you're in the seat of your soul and you're letting that lead you forward. And that, my love, is transformational because it brings both your brain and your soul together in harmony. Then your brain can come up with the ideas and the strategies and the conversations. Then you can create the business that really allows you to be paid to exist without exhausting you. If you want personal guidance, relearning yourself, remembering yourself, and resetting your relationship to success, check out the link in the description below for my 3-month mentorship program, Success Reset, because it's going to change your life. And you can still be smart without being burnt out, without feeling obligated to taking care of everybody else first. You get to be the center of your own joy and the center of your own life. This has been my life philosophy for ever. And this isn't always appreciated by people. Someone in one of my videos said that I sounded incredibly entitled. So, of course, I created a response video sharing my thought about it. Am I entitled? Check it out right here. I think you will thoroughly enjoy it. And in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions about Success Reset or working together one-on-one. I would love to support you in reclaiming yourself, your brain, your body, and your life. I will see you there. Bye for now.